Welcome to S-Class, the highest tier in podcasting. With me, he's been haunting my life since Miss Hackett's second grade class. It's Robert.
Speaking of haunting, Justin, she's probably not alive anymore, is she?
I checked in last year, wasn't doing great, and 12 months later, potentially RIP.
Right.
She was a good lady.
That is all to say we've known each other for 25 years.
Terrible. And with you, from a galaxy far, far away, from planet Sunrai, I'm your host, Justin.
A beautiful introduction to start our beautiful new year, Justin. However, what we're doing today is not about the new year, it's about this past year, 2024, and all the wonderful, terrible, mostly actually, things that we read and watched.
Yeah, you know what? Not going to be the great anime of the year, but we're here. We have dedicated ourselves. This is year 4 of the S-Class Anime of the Year podcast. The strongest under the heavens, if you will. As always, Robert, we go over the rules every year. This year we have a total of 65 series, 6 less than our previous year, but still quite an abundance. And we'll be going through these one by one until there is only one left who will claim the title as strongest under the heavens of 2024. A few misnomers. No, that's not the word. A few.
No, definitely not.
No.
Caveats?
Caveats. Thank you, Robert. Some of these series are not from 2024. Some of them are just things that we have picked up and read. They could be from any year. Me and Rob have very different tastes. I like things of high quality and pristine excellence, and Robert likes trash. So some of those things might slip into the top if I'm not doing my
We
job
call it
right.
smut, Justin, where I'm from, okay?
Smut. There's some of it that's trash and some of it that's smut. So, and last thing is some of these series are just counting for what we've read of this year. So we always use One Piece as an example. We are talking about the latter half of Egghead plus Elbaf as an example.
Right.
So those are the 3 main things. Rob, is there anything that I've missed?
I think that just about covers it, right?
I think so.
Oh, well, then at the end, what are we doing, right? We compare this year's number 1 to last year's number 1 to determine what is the strongest under the heavens.
Don't spoil everything, Rob. We got to keep the 12 listeners in their seats waiting for that moment.
If they're still there after an hour and a half, then you know what, that's on them.
Yeah, it could go quick this year, actually. Robert, I was concerned. We podcasted last week, and besides that, we usually rank things throughout the year. We kind of like warm the muscle, but I don't think we're quite ready. So I thought there's no better way to start us off than with Robert's Ranking Corner.
Oh, I love Robert's Ranking Corner. What are we ranking?
Today, Robert will be ranking 5 foods that I ate while I was in Hong Kong and Japan.
Okay, and I have to do 1 through 5 randomly, right?
Yeah, blindly, yes.
Okay, blindly. Okay, give me number 1.
Robert, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Number 1, snake soup.
That's definitely 5.
Snake soup, actually very good. I quite enjoyed it. Tastes quite like shark fin.
Yeah, you're a snake. I'm not surprised.
Number 2, duck tongue.
Duck tongue. 4? That's definitely better than snake.
No, honestly, that's probably the worst thing on this list. I'm going to give a slight review.
Okay, then that's good. I think I'm doing a good job.
Okay. The next one, fish semen.
Oh, well, isn't that just caviar?
No, those are fish eggs. This is from the male side. They give the male fish some fish hub, and they take a look at it, give them a little wank, and you get grilled fish semen.
I have so many questions and concerns, and it seems like this is something you probably pursued, and I'm not even sure if this happened in a restaurant or if this is just what you were doing on your Friday night. I guess 3. I don't know if you have 2 more things worse than that. I can't imagine, so continue.
I'll give a short caveat. I went out with my quite wealthy friend's family, and we went to a very expensive restaurant, and the dad said, just try these white sacks. He's going to grill them up. They're very good. And we tasted, we're like, oh, it's interesting. It's not terrible. And he's like, you want to know what it is? And we're like, is it cum? And he's like, yeah, it's cum. And he's like, it's really good for your vitality. And now we're like,
tell
okay,
me, yeah,
thank
come
you.
on. Don't pretend you didn't like it.
I mean, it wasn't bad. Number 2, raw eggs from a chicken who's only eaten rice. The yolk is white.
Okay, number 1. Definitely number 1. I'll eat eggs from a chicken.
A raw egg.
It's better than all the other options so far, and I can't imagine the last one being much better. So.
Oh man, you foiled my plot. And your final one, which is going to sit at your number 2, a Hong Kong Filet-O-Fish from McDonald's.
Oh, that might have been one, honestly, but you know what? Not bad. And I don't even eat fish, but a Hong Kong fillet of fish probably contains very little fish.
You know, this is all it takes for me to get you to expand outside of your comfort zone, is to just give you the 4 or 5 most exotic things I could think of. And there you go. That's Robert's Ranking Corner.
And a fillet of fish.
No, I can't be judged
I think
anymore.
I'm warmed up.
Yeah.
I'm warmed up now. Ready to rock.
Yeah, I thought that would get your blood flowing, get you thinking.
You got something flowing. The fish come. That is.
There we go. So that's Robert's Ranking Corner, everybody. Before we start and go over the 65 series, I just want to share a few stats as we've been doing in recent years. So like I said, we were down from 71 series down to 65 this year. I read or watched 24 of those. Robert watched 22 of those. And together we watched a total of 19. Of those, 58.5% of those are new series, which this is a new stat which I added in this year. And I kind of like that. It's kind of like more than half the things we've watched are something fresh. So we're not just reviewing old series.
Mm-hmm.
And with that out of the way, I shall begin the arduous task of reading half these names.
Good luck.
Akane Banashi. Alya sometimes hides her feelings in Russian. Bartender, Glass of God. Berserk. Blue Box. Boy and the Heron. Chainsaw Man. Chihayafuru. Chiko, Heiress of the Phantom Thief. Code Geass. Dandadan. Dragon Ball Daima. Dungeon Meshi. Elusive Samurai. Eyeshield 21, Brain X Brave. Gash Bell 2. Golden Kamuy. Grandpa and Grandma Turn Young Again. Green Green Greens. Gyaru and Dinosaur. Hajime no Ippo. Hell's Paradise. Hibike Euphonium. Hima-Ten. Hokkaido Gals Are Super Adorable. Jellyfish Can't Swim at Night. Kaiju No. 8. Kill Blue. Mashle Season 2. Mission Yozakura Family. Monsters 103 Mercy's Dragon Damnation. Mr. Doe and the Egg Princess. And My Dear Friend Nokotan. Robert, why don't you take it from there?
We got Octogirl, One Piece Fan Letter, One Punch Man, Oshinoko Season 2, Plus Sized Elf, Pokemon Concierge, Polar Bear Cafe, Ranma Half, Real, Record of Ragnarok, Ruri Dragon, Sakamoto Days, Sakuna of Rice and Rune, Sandland, See You Tomorrow at the Food Court, Shangri-La Frontier Season 2, Skip and Loafer, Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You, Solo Leveling, Spice and Wolf, Spy Family, Suicide Squad Isekai, Super Psychic Policeman Chojo, Tetsujin 28 Gao, The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, The Secret World of Ariete, Trigun, Badlands Rumble, Urusei Yatsura Season 3, Wistoria, Wand and Sword, Eurocamp Season 3, ZX Ignition.
It's quite the list, Rob.
You gotta give me some credit. I flew through that and only mispronounced probably like 4 or 5 things.
You know, while you were talking, I was like, that's a voice made for radio.
Right? That's what my dad always told me, that I had a face made for radio, actually.
You know, I couldn't agree more with Larry. Robert, so we shall now begin the ceremony of the strongest under the heaven. And last year, you started us off. So if you don't mind, shall I take the sword of the strongest?
Please be my guest, Justin.
Well, I think I have to get rid of ZX Ignition. Do you have any idea what this is?
Nope. No, it feels Yu-Gi-Oh-y in name, honestly. Feels like a stupid BS Yu-Gi-Oh deck.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad guess. Earlier in the year, I've been studying Japanese for a while, and I saw this app, and they fucking suckered me in. Is this app that's like, it's $20 a month or $200 for a lifetime purchase. So I went for the lifetime purchase, and the app is like, you read the subtitles, it gives you the subtitles in Japanese, and you can click on it and turn it into a flashcard. I was like, that's a great function. However, it has a whole bunch of series. Every series on there, except for Usagi Drop, which has its own issues, is just god awful. It's like I looked up, I was like, oh, I've never heard of this anime before. It must be fun and unique. And I'll look it up on Mal. It's like a 5.3 rating. One of these series was ZX Ignition, which I believe was a card game turned into a anime, and it's just the fucking worst. Number one, the Japanese was too hard, so I couldn't understand it. So that's a personal issue with it. And number two, it was just a shitty series about people who have like an individual monster of some sort, and they battle for some sort of championship. I don't know. I got one episode in. I was
Sounds
like,
a lot like the plot to Yu-Gi-Oh!
It's a duelist kingdom, but not fun at all. So there we go. Number 65, ZX Ignition.
Justin, I'm going to kill off 4 things at once right now, and
Jesus.
there are 4 series that I started and I could not get beyond, I think, episode 6 is the first I got in these 4 series.
Okay.
So I will start with the ones I made it least far in and go down from there.
Okay.
Sakuna of Rice and Rune was one of the most boring anime I have ever watched in my life. It is based on a video game of some lazy god that has to go and regrow rice, and it is as tedious and boring, and it's like if you had a Harvest Moon farming anime, and that's it. It's just so bland and boring, and
there's no sexy wolf girl to help you grow your rice.
No, exactly. So Sakuna of Rice and Ruin couldn't get past episode 2. Next we'll go with there are 4 My Dear Friend Nokotan.
Really?
You think it's this seems to be the common sentiment online as well. It hooks you with a great OP. The first episode is pretty unhinged, kind of funny, and then it just doesn't do anything from there. It's just boring as hell and not funny anymore, and just the same joke over and over and over and over and over again. You can still listen to the OP. You don't have to watch the show, so that's gone now.
I was expecting this to make it to the low 40s, to be honest. I thought it'd have some charm
brutal,
to it. Okay.
Brutal. It was not funny. And what's that other one that's very popular that I just couldn't find humor in? I think
Nichijou. That's exactly what I was thinking about.
Yeah. I just did not work for me. Next up is a surprise one, which is Yuru Camp season 3. The production quality, they had a new studio, and it didn't look as good, and you felt it, and it didn't have the same vibe. That one really disappointed me.
That's
and I think
so heartbreaking.
It's probably not. It's not as bad to be down here. It's more the disappointment that brings it down.
Okay.
Because, I love 2 seasons of just cute girls camping and doing nothing more than that. I know what the expectation is. This time it just was not working for me.
Was Cool Grandpa in it?
Nah, not as far as I got. I didn't see Cool Grandpa.
I think it's got to go below My Dear Nokotan.
You know what? That's fine with me.
No,
and the last one is Plus Size Elf, which is just absolutely disgusting and not something that I would ever recommend to anybody. I did get 7 episodes in, but in fairness, each episode is only 10 minutes.
Robert, I think you're both being racist against elves and sizist against the plus-sized right now.
No. Love me some thickness. Love me some elves. This just it wasn't a good combination here.
My heart goes out to plus-sized elf. I thought it'd get a little further than this.
No, it could not.
Wow, this is the first year ever that this has happened. Usually I'm the one that's like, Rob, can I have a couple more of your spots? I gotta get rid of 3 or 4 more things. I can see why you're saying why this might be an hour and a half, because bit of a dumpster fire.
Yeah, a lot to throw out here at the bottom.
I don't think you're gonna disagree with this one. I think my next cut is going to be Mission Yozakura.
Yep, no problem with that. Oh, that's another one I didn't finish, so that's actually, spot on.
How far did you get into this?
3 episodes, maybe 4.
Okay, because I got 1 episode in. I said, this is the most, let me make an anime based on all the things that I think are popular. Here's spies. Here's all the different colored hair. Here's the tropes. Here's this. It just felt almost like an AI created this anime and just did a terrible job of doing it. And it just pissed me off. I was like, this is why anime in 2024 sucks.
Here's a kid with dead parents.
Yeah. Relatable. It's fine.
Here's some romance. It's like all your tropes. You're right. But you know what? Put Plus Size Elf above this.
Okay, that's fair.
We're gonna carry these thick girls, I think. They might make a rise.
We're gonna be an hour and a half into this podcast. Plus Size Elf's fighting for number 11. I'm like, fucking A, how did this happen?
It might happen.
So that puts Mission Yozakura at 61, and Plus Size Elf gets the magical number 60.
It might break 50.
All right, Rob. What is your cut?
I'm gonna go with Hima-Ten. That's a new Shonen Jump romance manga. The premise is that he is a cleaner. He cleans people's houses, and the main girl is a model, and he has to clean the model's house. Oh no!
What's gonna happen?
Pretty good. The love triangle or love square is stupid, and it sucks, and it's boring, and I dropped it. I got about 15 chapters in.
Oh, the art is kind of cute. I haven't seen this before.
Yeah, the art's not bad. There's one hilarious page where it's literally just the girl's ass, and there's a speech bubble coming out of it because the author is just doing fan service, but needed a speech bubble on that page, and it's ridiculous. Not other than that, not very entertaining.
This has potential. Like this author can definitely draw. Like this guy draws like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Okay. I will get rid of Tetsujin Nijū Hachiko, or Gigantor as it is known in the West. This is a series from either the 50s or the 60s, and I do have like a really charming story for this. Like I vividly remember when I was like 12 or 13, my mom was telling me about this giant robot show that she watched when she was in Hong Kong, and she'd be like, and then the robot would go like Gigantor and like raise its arms up in the air, and I would like roll my eyes. I was like, okay, mom, whatever. And I went to a giant robot exhibit last year and saw Gigantor, and I was like, whoa, holy crap. So I was like, oh, let me give this a watch. And it's hilarious because the Gigantor Western adaptation, they start at like episode 38, and they make everyone evil's like a Nazi. Like it just became a propaganda film for American children, as opposed to like there's an actual storyline that takes place in Japan.
Because it was, you said the 50s, right?
50s or 60s, yeah.
Yeah.
So like I guess there's still anti-German sentiments. It's a timepiece, It's not a personal hate. It's just it's hard to watch something that's literally 65 years old at this point.
Wasn't working for you.
It wasn't working for me. I watched 1 or 2 episodes, and I was gonna do a video on it. I was like, I can't watch this whole thing just for the sake of a video that's gonna get like 14 views.
Not worth it.
There's Tetsujin Nijū Hachiko at 58.
All right, I think I'm finally coming to stuff that I don't absolutely hate. I got a couple more manga that I didn't get very far in, both Shonen Jump. We'll start with Super Psychic Policeman Shoujo. It's a gag manga. It's a cop that can read minds and a girl that wants to do things by the book. It's not too bad, actually. It's kind of funny. But it is also just a Shonen Jump gag manga, and at some point, you can't do more than like 20 chapters of those if they're not really something like special. But it's like full-on gag, not anything more than that. There's no substance, no story, and at this point I need some bit of substance to keep me going with these weekly manga.
Yeah, it's been a rough year for Shonen Jump.
Yeah.
Rob, do you want to get rid of a few more, or do you want me to go from here?
Yeah, I'll also knock out, and this one pains me and may shock you, but Rory Dragon.
No! Oh, my heart once again.
Rory Dragon finally returning from its hiatus after 6 chapters and 2 years, and it's kind of boring.
I mean, I've been saying it from the beginning, but just journey. We were here for the journey, Rob.
Yeah, and the journey has come to an end, because you would think a story about a dragon girl whose mother was down incredibly bad to do a dragon would be entertaining, but it's really just a girl that goes to school and is socially inept and doesn't want to make friends, and also is kind of a dragon. Not really that entertaining.
Oh, I was so ready for the down bad dragon forecast of the day, and I was not expecting to hear it at number 56.
The only thing that's down is this series, Justin.
Oof. Good night, Rory Dragon. Not even Rob's love and sustained love for you after 6 chapters could hold you up higher than bottom 10 of this year.
We will always have those 6 chapters, though, Justin.
Oh, okay. I will get rid of... Maybe you'll push this a little bit further, so please give me your opinion. But I was thinking about getting rid of Monsters 103 Mercies Dragon Damnation. I read the manga. I did not watch the Netflix special.
I watched the Netflix anime of it.
Was it good?
And it was okay. Yeah, it was fine.
It was just nothing for me. It was just like, oh, this is the one shot of Zoro before Zoro, and like it didn't make me feel anything.
Well, it's Ryuma.
Oh, Ryuma. Okay, who became Zoro?
No, Zoro fights Ryuma in Thriller Bark.
You know what I mean.
Ryuma's zombie.
The character
I get
design.
what you mean.
But, I mean, do you have any feelings about this? Because, like, it didn't make me feel anything. I was just like, oh, it's cool.
It's fluff. It's a adaptation of a manga that was probably drawn by Oda when he was, like, 17 years old, you know?
Yeah. It's the second best One Piece filler episode on this on this list.
Yeah, actually, essentially, that is the answer.
Are you fighting for it, or it can go out here?
No. That's more than okay with me.
Okay. That goes out at number 55.
I will dump Octogirl now, which is the manga about Doc Ock.
Wait, what?
Doc Ock gets isekai'd into a Japanese schoolgirl, as in the Spider-Man villain.
Is that legal?
Well, what happens is Spider-Man's about to accidentally kill him, I think, and then Doc Ock sends his consciousness like to some sort of satellite, but then it accidentally puts him in the mind of a Japanese schoolgirl, so they have to share the body. Or
Sounds
no,
great.
maybe she gets. I think it happens while she's getting hit by a truck. So like, I don't know. There's shenanigans. It's drawn by the guys that do Vigilantes, the My Hero Academia spinoff.
Okay.
So the art is obviously great. But
That's kind of perfect, like superhero style wise.
it's not. It's not. It wasn't bad, but like based on the premise, how good could it be?
Okay. I mean, the premise sounds fantastic, personally. Honestly, you just kind of sold me. I'm never going to watch this, but it has charmed me in these 30 seconds. And I'd like to switch it with something else, if you don't mind.
I'll go ahead. Be my guest.
I don't know why I read this every year. It's been on this list for the last 4 years, I believe. And that is Record of Ragnarok. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what your impression of Record of Ragnarok is from your perspective when you get these annual updates. But I'm sort of here just to see, like, who are they going to pit up against each other? And last year we had Nikola Tesla versus Hades, and that was kind of cool. Or Satan, not Hades. And now we have Apollo versus the King of the Spartans, Leonidas. That battle was mid as fuck. And then we had Susanoo, one of the Japanese sword gods, versus one of the ancient samurai. Also, it was fine. I didn't hate it, didn't love it, but it wasn't funny. So Octogirl sounds way funnier, and I'd prefer that to be at 53.
That works for me. I mean, all I know of Record of Ragnarok is it apparently had one of the worst anime adaptations of all time.
It did. It had a slideshow anime that I refused to watch.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got rid of Record of Ragnarok. You got rid of Octogirl. It's actually back to you for number 52.
Okay. Let's take a look at what we've got.
We are
Luckily,
flying.
we're getting to the point where things aren't atrocious. I guess, sometimes it's like, are we going based on nostalgia versus how much did something actually provide? Or did the return of this just leave you wanting more, which upsets you and disappoints you? Which
I know
is where I'm going with Eyeshield 21, where it's like, I really enjoyed the chapter in the vacuum, but it's also like, this should have been more. There's no reason we couldn't have more. And it just leaves me frustrated because Eyeshield 21 ends not great and ends disappointing and ends kind of rushed. And then you finally get more from it. I don't even know how many years later, 15 years later maybe.
Yeah.
And then it's a really enjoyable one-shot, but then it's just a one-shot. And it's like, well, why can't we have more? And it just, it leaves you with, even though the content itself was good and the art was fantastic as always, it just leaves you kind of disappointed.
I remember reading it and I was like, oh, this is nice. I didn't feel as much emotion as you feel, so maybe like my disappointment was less. But it was also kind of like a flash in the pan, and I didn't think about it much after it happened. It can go out around here. Let me see. Is there anything worse than this right now? Okay, you know what? Let me get rid of Trigun Badlands Rumble first.
That sounds like a cheap, like, iPhone version of Trigun, like a game.
It is actually like a beautifully animated movie that came out of Trigun like several years ago, and it's old Trigun, not the new sci-fi one. And I'd had it on the back burner. I was on a plane for like 15 hours at one point. I was like, you know what? Let me pop this in and see how it is. And the villain is actually very compelling. The villain is this guy who likes to like rob banks, and he likes to do it for the art of it. Like, his guys are like, we got all the money, we can finally retire. And he's like, no, we got to invest this money for the next heist to show how
Just
cool
a hobby.
I am. Yeah. So he's actually kind of fun, but then they kind of try to turn it into something like really deep and meaningful. And like, I was like, this is not the Trigun of old that I miss. And I guess sort of like your feelings of disappointment, I was just like, oh, I expect better of you, Trigun. Whereas for Eyeshield, it's sort of like, I want more. It's kind of a different disappointment. Yeah. So I think this can go out before Eyeshield.
Okay, that sounds fair to me.
So that's Badlands Rumble at 52, and you're committed to Eyeshield at 51?
You know what? I think I can do something else.
You want it at 50?
Eyeshield. Yeah. Well, it's not even having a nice round number. I did just notice something that, like, really pissed me off.
Sure.
It's probably the anime that I watched all the way through that pissed me off the most this year, which is Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night.
Oh, okay.
that was a typical coming of age where girl wants to finally follow her dreams and make art, and she's making art for the guitarist of a singer, whatever, of YouTube. I don't know, what do they call them in Japan? It's not an idol, but it's like a...
Like a VTuber?
Yeah, like
Oh,
a
actually?
VTuber, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, basically that. And it's just really good to start, and then it sputters out at the end. And the really disappointing thing is that they're really, really Yuri baiting you throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, hardcore telling you that, like, this is happening. And then not even close at the end. And it just felt, like, almost insulting to end without, like, you know, fulfilling that thing that they were, like, teasing the entire time. And it just pissed me off.
Oh boy, do I got a series for you later on in this list. This one looked promising. Like I honestly thought of picking it up during the year. Was it the first like 5-6 episodes actually solid?
Yeah, and then it falls off.
Okay. Oh, that's sad. So
Yeah.
that's Jellyfish Can't Swim at Night at 51 and Eyeshield 21 at 50. Okay. I got a hot take ready for you.
Oh, I'm always ready for a hot take.
No, you know what? It can last 2 more spots as far as I can see it.
Okay.
How you feeling about Blue Box?
I was gonna get rid of One Piece first.
Oh, I think One Piece goes a little further, to be honest.
Really? I absolutely despised everything Egghead with One Piece this year, though I have enjoyed Elbaf a little bit more than I have enjoyed One Piece in the last year and a half.
I would say so. This year was actually the Kuma flashback, or last year rather, which I thought was very good. I mean, spoilers for One Piece, but like I thought that the whole threat of like water levels rising, that was sort of the feeling of whelm that I got. I was like, this is the big reveal, and I wasn't disappointed, and I wasn't like blown away. I was just sort of like interesting, and also I didn't love the what's the doctor's name again? The professor?
Vegapunk.
I didn't like Vegapunk like dragging his speech on for 3 chapters.
It was not 3 chapters. It was like, it might have been like 15. That whole 10-minute countdown, which was, I guarantee you look back, it probably, well, the problem is all the breaks, but it probably took like 4 to 5 real life months.
Okay.
Which is a problem. Like, I not to jump on you, but like,
yeah,
even if it was only 4 or 5 chapters, that's ridiculous because you're getting these chapters so infrequently, and the information he was just repeating himself chapter after chapter, really, and it's just reaction images from everybody around the world. Just nothing was happening.
I agree with you, and I guess I didn't like Elbaf that much. I also was a little bit disappointed in the Gorosei. Also, like I was like, these guys are supposed to be like the gods of the new world, and like Frankie's able to punch this guy and make him, even though he didn't hurt him, he make him go flying. Like he should like break his arm just by touching him. I don't. A lot of things happened this year. I wasn't like thrilled by it at all, but enough happened where I was like, the story's moving at least, which is not enough to bring it much further. Can you tell me why Blue Box makes it higher?
I kind of like the recent arc of Taiki. I don't know if you're still reading it. Of
I've
Taiki
stopped.
and Kinatsu's dad. Okay, so right now we get an arc where Kinatsu's dad comes back and he's like, you can't live with this boy. And then Taiki's like, no, she shouldn't move. I'll move in with you. And he's like living with her dad, and it's like kind of funny and kind of wholesome. Because the dad moves back to Japan and he's like, my daughter can't live with this family.
Can you do it in the voice you just did?
Girlfriend. I don't remember what I did, but I think it was like, my daughter can't live with you. And then Taiki's like, no, don't make her move. She's trying to follow her dreams. I'll move in with you and be further from school. And shenanigans ensue. And he sees why Taiki has a heart of gold and all that bull crap. But it's kind of wholesome, and I kind of like it. And now we're in the, pursuit of nationals where Shinatsu is playing in her hopefully not final game ? So
what position does she play?
It's better.
Do we know?
No idea. I don't think she knows. I don't think the author knows. She has one of the worst jump shots I've ever seen in any piece of media for a basketball player. Maybe not as bad as Ben Simmons, but she's not great.
Wow. Okay, you sold me. Okay. Yeah, I can let One Piece go here, and Blue Box is your baby to kill at any point. I will not. I'll say no.
I'm not killing it yet, honestly.
Okay. I was ready to get rid of it because I was like, it killed me so much last year. I was like, why does this even exist? And then I watched like 12 minutes of the first episode, and I was like, I want these feelings back that I used to love. And I was just like, this sounds like a man on this Taiki 13-year-old voice, and the animation's like well done, but it's like too polished that it doesn't have enough charm. So I was like, fuck this thing.
Yeah, that's fine. We're not doing it yet, though.
Yeah, it's fine. What do you got for me, buddy?
Justin, I don't. Is it? No, it is my turn.
Yeah.
I know you're going to agree with this. I feel like it's a hot take from my camp. Did not care for The Boy and the Heron.
Yes, let's fucking go.
Did not care for it. If there's an anime that insists upon itself, it is The Boy and the Heron, and I just it did not do it for me.
I've been waiting to have this conversation for a fucking year. I watched this movie in January of 2024, and as the Studio Ghibli fan of this podcast, I was like, when is Rob going to catch up? When is he going to watch this movie so we can talk about it? And wow, there's never been a Studio Ghibli film where I've been like, I literally picked up my phone and I was like, oh my god, a whole hour's passed and there's another hour of this. I've never felt that feeling before. And sorry, you know what? This is your cut. Please speak a little bit and I have a story for you after.
Like, obviously, I had to wait a while to finally watch it. I had to wait till it was on Max. My wife and I couldn't get out to see this in theaters with the baby. I didn't really feel motivated to, get my mother to watch Eloise so that I could go see a movie. So once it was finally on streaming, that night we watched it, and we were both just kind of like, okay. And it was one of those things where I think we didn't want to both admit that it was like, this is not that great. This is not that enjoyable. And then it ended, and we were like, oh, okay. I think one of the first things my wife said was like, The Wind Rises was such a perfect ending for his career, and then he made this. And it was just like, yeah. The Wind Rises, I felt like, even if it's not like the most enjoyable movie, it's definitely a great film and a great piece of art, and definitely represents all the things that make Miyazaki. Mm-hmm. And then this just felt like kind of a cluster F of just what is wrong with Ghibli movies sometimes, like Howl's Moving Castle, where it's just like clearly no ending was written when he was making this movie, and just like the need to meander on some things and just like let things be boring because that's how real life works, which I like in some Ghibli movies, but it just didn't work in this one. And it's just like a lot of the bad aspects of his career really came out in this one, it felt like.
The type of person who says, I thought it was amazing, which I've met several people who have said that to me, is the type of person who puts like 12 Angry Men and Space Odyssey 2024 onto their favorite movies list. And I cannot stand this movie. One of my friends is a producer at G-Kids, the people who dub the movie and bring it over to America or into the Western world. And he like worked with Christian Bale and Robert Pattinson. And I was like, what did you think of the movie? And I didn't want to offend him. And he said, oh, I really liked it. I liked it more each time I watched it. I was like, each time you watched it? He's like, yeah, I watched it about 20 times because I had to do the final editing. And I said, if I had to, I didn't say this, I thought this. If I had to watch this movie 20 times, I would have blown my brains out. This would be like at least the third layer of hell in Dante's Inferno for me.
So, but still better than Plus Sized Elf.
I mean, arguable. At least Plus Sized Elf's only 10 minutes long.
Yeah, okay.
It's beautiful animation, right?
Still decent music, not as memorable as Joe Hisaishi is used to, but it's still okay.
One of my biggest problems with the film, besides the fact that like the characters were just not charming at all, and those parrots kind of freaked me out, was the title of the film. I remember we were so excited about the existential title of How Should I Live? And as someone who's constantly having an existential crisis, I was excited to see like what this would like resonate with me. And I was like, what does this have to do with that title at all? Like, The Boy and the Heron, such an appropriate title, and I have no idea this deep story that was told. And maybe it's just too deep for me, but I just did not get it.
Nah, I also just hate movies or books or anything that's just the blank and the blank. It's just such a lazy naming scheme, and it sets a bad tone.
Can you give me your least favorite movies that do the blank and the blank? The Frog and the Toad.
No, what? There's no. It's not the Frog and the Toad. It's Frog and Toad, and it's a work of art. It's one of the best book series on planet Earth.
I do love Frog and Toad.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but you know when you see it.
Okay. So at number 48.
Oh, The Fox and the Hound.
Fox and
the Hound.
That's not a bad movie. That's just really sad.
No, it's not a bad movie. I'm just saying that's another,
that one feels
that type of
that one feels
title scheme.
appropriate, frankly.
Yeah.
I think
I want it to be put down after this.
I think your take is just bad right there.
Well, okay, that's fine.
Well, thank you for getting rid of The Boy and the Heron. That was on my list. And what is next on my list?
I don't know. Tell me.
Alya sometimes hides her feelings in Russian.
No, stop. We're not doing this yet.
We're not doing this yet? We're not having this dance?
No, not even close. No. I mean,
not even close.
For the scene alone of him... No, for the scene alone of him putting the socks on her feet, plus the amazing Siscon storyline, it's not even close.
That was episode 1, Rob, where he puts the sock on her foot.
Let's continue. What else you got?
Jeez. Okay, let's get rid of Shangri-La Frontier.
Yeah, this was I still haven't really gotten more than a few episodes in for season 2 yet. I think I really enjoyed season 1 of Shangri-La Frontier, and then we take 9 months off, and it was kind of hard to just jump back into that world where, at first I love the fact that there's no stakes and it's kind of like it doesn't take itself seriously, but then I think you can only do it for so long before you need something that like motivates you to keep the story moving, and it just didn't have it for me.
I only got 1 episode in, and like this ranked number 14 if I'm not mistaken last year, and we loved it. But yeah, I guess this whole rabbit side quest just feels so much like a side quest that like I'm so uninvested after such a hype final battle that took like 3 episodes last season. So like I'm at the bottom of the story arc again, and I'm not ready to climb that hill. Like I need to have like the mindset where I'm like, yeah, I can trudge through 6 like fun episodes that are not exciting, if that's the right description.
No, I'm with you.
Maybe 2025, we'll see. But it just gets here for not bad quality, just inability to make me watch it.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, that's 47.
Next, I should have gotten rid of this a while ago. See You Tomorrow at the Food Court is like a 14-chapter manga of 2 girls that just go and yap at a food court together, and they talk about nothing, and it's definitely a slice of life manga. It's not that good. I don't know. I think I just forgot it was here. That's how forgettable it is.
Does it need an adjustment or?
Yeah, let's put it. Let's put it. This feels worse than Octo Girl.
Feels better than Record of Ragnarok.
I think that's the perfect spot for it at 53?
Yes.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay.
So that leaves us with our highest right now being Shangri-La at
44. No.
46. 46, yes.
Okay. All right, you're up.
Okay. Let us get rid of... What am I feeling? Let's get rid of Chiko, Heiress of the Phantom Thief. This one is another one of the series on my $200 Japanese learning app. It's actually not that bad. It's about a little girl who's like the heiress to this rich family, and her aunt's secretly trying to kill her by feeding her poison to get her inheritance, and she gets rescued by this very suave, debonair guy who's like one of those cool like early 1900s thieves who like leaves a letter and it's like, I'm gonna steal this at midnight, and he has some crazy ploy. Like the first episode, he's going to steal like a diamond, I think, and he like cuts off the roof of the mansion to steal the diamond.
Very realistic plan.
Yeah, and I love that type of like noir vibe, but then it starts getting into this like kind of weird science fiction supernatural thing because that thief ends up like adopting her and saving her, and it gets kind of dark, and I kind of fell off of it from there because I kind of want the like Sherlock Holmesy vibe instead of the like sci-fi World War II vibe, which is where it started going.
Right.
Didn't hate it.
So the vibe was not meeting what you needed.
Yeah, it just the tonal shift was too much. But still pretty cool. Glad I found out this exists.
I'm gonna go One Piece fan letter. It was fine. It was entertaining. It's not that good. Did you watch it?
I did.
Yeah, it was fine. It's nothing. It's a unique art style which carries it because it's like not something you really see for One Piece. So like that's entertaining. But like it was stupid.
Your hatred of One Piece fuels me, and I love it. I love it. Because this is the type of shit
fine.
that One Piece fans like. They're like, this is amazing. Like, I'm drooling over this. This is the best thing ever. I agree. Beautiful animation, beautiful art style, some funny bits in it. Like, I like the homage it's trying to play to each of the characters. Like, there are fans who think Chopper's super cute, and there are people who are like, who's the strongest swordsman? And they kind of have those inserted. But still, it's like the third best filler episode of all time, behind Kiba's walkout and
100%. The goal is Kiba's Day Out.
Kiba's Day Out, excuse me, and obviously the number one filler episode. It's actually like a filler saga where you hang out with the fighting dugongs and Eyelashes the camel and the hermit crab, which I've watched of my own accord. Obviously, was not forced into watching that.
And it was great.
Oh man, can I think about this for a second?
I guess. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know how far you plan on carrying something like this. It's just there, for me. It's just there.
I think we're in this like minefield of 10 to 15 things that are all just like, yeah, it existed this year. Here, let me get rid of. I think Greens goes out before it.
I was about to say Greens, which was a golf manga that had a ton of potential that Shonen Jump just sliced and axed way too early.
Yeah, can we cut that first? And
yeah,
I thought this had a lot of potential. I was not able to like get through all the chapters before they cut it, and when they cut it, I was just like, fuck it, there's no point in reading this at this point.
Same. I mean, I was reading it week to week, and then I was waiting for it to build up, and then it got canceled, and I was like, well, I'm not going to read this now.
I don't know what the editorial staff is thinking right now. Like, they're cutting all the things with decent potential and like letting something like Yozakura Family last 250 chapters.
I mean, they have like 7 exorcism manga in their magazine right now.
Okay, so that's Greens out at 44. I'd cut Kaiju number 8 as well before Greens.
That's fine with me. I mean, I didn't read it this year. I'm probably like 20 chapters behind, but it's just a series that started with such a strong premise and then did not do anything with it. I know I say this. I think I say this every year. But the point stands that you tell us that our main character is 35 years old, and then you write him like a 14-year-old anyway, and it doesn't mean anything.
I almost crossed off the bingo sheet. You just need to say one more word, and it would have done it. Do you know what the word is?
What did I miss? The fact that he's like Deku?
There you go.
I know I always said, yep, yeah.
Bingo. Yeah, there we go.
There it is.
What happened this year? I'm actually totally caught up with Kaiju number 8. There's a lot of fighting. It's just the most tropey shonen battle manga. The fact that he acts like a 12-year-old doesn't even bother me at this point. It's just kind of paint by numbers, but it's such an easy read. Small side story is I was talking to my Japanese tutor. She's lovely. And we're talking about, like, what kind of anime do you like? And I was like, oh, I'm sort of into Oshi no Ko right now. And she's like, oh, it's not really my thing. She's like, I'm kind of into Kaiju number 8. I was like, ugh.
Ooh.
And then I fired her. I got a new tutor. No, I didn't. She's
yeah, that was the move, honestly.
She's still my tutor. But I did start judging her from there. I was like, oh, is this what Japanese people like to watch?
You can't come back from that.
No, it definitely left a bad taste in my mouth. And I'm glad I'm not paying her a lot. No. If you hear this, Chika Sensei, you're great. I think, yeah, okay, I can get rid of fan letter here. Okay, so that puts fan letter out at 42.
42.
Yeah, Rob, I think I made the last couple of cuts. What are you feeling?
I'm gonna go with one that was fun and I enjoyed it and it was really cute. Great animation. Pokemon Concierge. It's only 4 episodes. It was a little Netflix Pokemon series. I think it came out like in late December of 2023. But I watched it, a few weeks later, and I really enjoyed it. It was cute.
Okay. Is this a series or this is a special?
It was a series. It was 4 episodes. I think they're making a new season. It was just some girl works at a hotel for Pokemon, and there's not much more to it than that.
Okay. I think I am ready to get rid of Hajime no Ippo here. Hajime no Ippo. So because of this podcast, I have started started getting back into Hajime no Ippo, and I'll read it every 2 years just so I have like a big chunk. And I believe in 2022 it ended up in our like top 6 or something, or top 4. Like it was just all of Ippo's rivals like hitting the world stage and just making these like epic clashes. And this last like 50 chapters was fucking awful. Like one of his friends fights the world champion in their weight class, and it was really exciting. It's like, oh, this guy's actually going to make some moves. We know he's going to lose because Ippo's got to fight this world champion in their weight class eventually. But then it just sort of turned into like this kid who fights this like wild style conforming into fighting regular style, which he's never done before. And I was like, why did you just kill this character's like whole shtick? So that's one. And the second main fight was Ippo's other rival, who is his not girlfriend's older brother, is at a championship fight, and he's fighting a guy who's looks like Squidward with barnacles for hair. And the design of that character was so ugly that midway through the fight, the boxer's coach like messes up his hair. He's like, oh, we'll change it back to your original hairstyle, and he gets like regular spiky anime hair just because it was so ugly and so like jarring to look at. Like I'll show it to you later.
So it was off-putting for everyone.
It was off-putting for everyone, so much so that like mid-fight he had to change it. The fight itself is not bad, but like because you couldn't take the character seriously, like it didn't feel like a real fight. Like there's no tension really.
Oh, that's that then.
Yeah. So that's Hajime no Ippo out at number 40.
Wow, that's a drop off.
Yeah, it honestly could have gone out maybe even a little earlier, but it's rough. Honestly, Rob, take a second and just go on Google and type in Hajime no Ippo Squidward, and it's the first guy that shows up.
Hajime no Ippo Squidward. Let's see.
He has like a cross on his forehead.
Oh, I do not like looking at that. Yeah,
it's gross, isn't it? Like it doesn't even look like hair. It looks like someone drilled a whole bunch of holes in his head.
Strange design.
Yeah.
As an illustrator too, why would you want to continue to draw that? That looks very complicated.
It's just like a pain in the ass and also just like stupid looking. I hope Hajime no Ippo makes a comeback in 2026, but we shall see.
We shall see. Speaking of stupid, Suicide Squad Isekai is stupid, but it's good stupid. It's fun stupid. Is it any good? No. Would I recommend it to people? Also no. But I had fun. I watched the whole thing,
wow.
Which I can't say about a lot of the things below this.
Anything else?
No, it's a DC anime. Like, what am I gonna say? It's Harley Quinn. Like, who wants to hear more about that? Nobody.
You know, pretty much everything you said is also a perfect descriptor for my next cut, which is Wistoria Wand and Sword. This is pretty much unfunny Mashle Academia. You have
Yikes.
Strong boy who lives in magic world. Everyone hates him for no reason, even though he's like ridiculously strong. Like he one hits monsters that like some of the teachers are like, what? Even I couldn't fight that guy. And all of the side characters are just like Bakugo, but they're not funny. Like all the side characters just hate. There's multiple of these guys who hate him for no reason, and they're like, "I can't believe it! Like fuck you! Like how come you're so strong? I can't get over this." And the reasoning for hating him is just because he doesn't use magic well, even though he's stronger than them, and they really hate that.
There's that. Yeah, I actually was about to watch the first episode of this, and it was one of those things where even within the first 15 seconds, I was like, I don't think this is gonna be worth it.
But you know what, Rob? I actually watched every single episode of this. And
which is why it goes this high.
Yeah, like it's the animation's pretty decent, and it's just good schlocky fun that's absolute trash. But if you put in enough budget into animation and fight scenes, a kid with sword fighting a guy who shoots fire at him, still kind of entertaining.
Hey, it can't be that bad.
It's pretty bad. So that's Wistoria out at 38.
All right, I'm gonna double kill right now. I'm ready to get rid of Blue Box, and as long as we're blue, I'll also get rid of Kill Blue. I want Kill Blue out before Blue Box, though. Kill Blue had kind of a boring arc. Kill Blue's a Shonen Jump manga where an assassin is turned into a child, and he really enjoys going to middle school. He just like loves it. He gets an absolute kick out of it. He loves studying. He has a great time. It was fine this year. I think it's one of those things where conceptually you can only do so much with it. And this was the year where it starts getting a little boring. But I am still reading it week to week. And as far as Blue Box goes, we already discussed it. I kind of like it, but I know how much you hate it, so it can't really go that much further because you didn't even bother continuing to read it, and I feel like that says something about it, and this is our joint ranking.
I mean, honestly, like, if you want to carry Blue Box further, I don't have an agenda. If I saw the smile and joy it brought to you when you're like, he's living at his in-laws' house, sort of, at this point, and I don't care. There's so much trash this year that if it makes it 5 more spots,
He does call him father-in-law, which is pretty funny.
you want to keep it? We don't have to kill it.
No,
Because
let's get up to 35.
okay, in the same vein, like
We're at 36 right now.
I'll cut 36. In the same vein, I have not read Kill Blue. The surfing arc last year just sort of killed it for me.
Yeah.
I liked it when he was fighting Shohei Ohtani in a sports battle royale. That's kind of where it peaked for me.
That was a good one.
If we're putting Blue Box at 35, 36 can be... I think I'll get rid of Polar Bear Cafe here. I didn't finish it. I know. This is not a personal agenda against you. It's very charming. I want to watch it to learn Japanese, and I was actually understanding some of it. I got like 10 episodes in or so, and I wasn't getting into the deeper parts because I know that like his good friend Brown Bear comes back into the story, and there's some more
Grizzly Bear,
excuse me. So it was just sort of like a silly, cute thing recently, but I could probably get back into it to test my comprehension, and hopefully I kind of fall in love with the series. But it's higher than I've been shitting on it for the last 10 years.
Right. I watched this probably in 2011. If this was, this year that I had watched it for the first time, this would probably be in our top 10 at least. We're basing it off Justin watching it this year. I can't really argue for it. So, unfortunately, I'm just, I'm excited and happy that you took it this far.
Yeah, you know what? It's like a lot of these other things, I'm disappointed, I'm disgusted. I can't say any of those things about Polar Bear Cafe. I'm charmed by Polar Bear Cafe. I wish it had enough hooks in me that I wanted to keep watching it. And honestly, I have enough that maybe in the future I will.
Okay. I will accept that.
That is Shirokuma Cafe out at number 36. And Blue Box at 35 or
top 35.
Okay, top 35. Wow.
All right, I'm knocking out Hokkaido Gals Are Super Adorable.
There we go.
Which, strictly for the fact that we meet our Gyaru girl that is obviously going to win the main character bowl in episode 1, and then they introduce us to Stinky Gamer Girl, who also loves the main character, and she has no shot of winning, and he's obviously not going to pick Stinky Gamer Girl, and it's just such an absolute ridiculous disappointment.
How's the ninja doing? Does she have a chance?
She's not a ninja. She's a ninja in the OP for absolutely no reason. She is not a ninja. There's nothing ninja-based about her in the actual show. She has even less of a chance of Stinky Gamer Girl, which is, I feel like that says a lot about you, where this girl that smells and sweats and plays video games and has no friends has a better chance with the main character than you. Not a great look.
Is she going to be Hokage?
No, she's not a ninja. I don't know why they made her a ninja in the OP, which it is a phenomenal OP,
banger,
by the way. But
absolute banger.
Banger, absolute banger.
I wish these girls weren't so ugly. As shallow as that sounds, I wish these 2D girls were hotter.
Yikes. But fair.
Also, they're 16, so take that back.
Okay.
Speaking of Gyarus, I can get rid of Gyaru to Kyoryu right now. Gyaru and Dinosaur.
Gyaru and Dinosaur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gyaru and Dinosaur, I still highly recommend reading it. It's like a funny little gag manga where a drunk Gyaru wakes up one day and there's a small brontosaurus sitting in her apartment, and he likes ramen. He can't really talk, but he communicates with her and her ex-boyfriend. He's absolutely charming. She tries to feed him cat food at one point, and he's like, "No, I eat ramen." Yeah, and it's a short, easy read, and I recommend it to anyone who likes stupid things. So I think you and John would eat this shit up, and it's very simple and fun.
It sounds great. It sounds right up my alley. You know what's not right up my alley? How long are you going to carry the garbage that is Chainsaw Man into this?
Oh, Chainsaw Man's going far this year. Chainsaw Man is...
Oh my god, I hate Chainsaw Man so much.
I am objective about Chainsaw Man. I think last year I cut it around 30 or 40 something. Love Chainsaw Man this year. I've turned a new leaf. I'm not even ready, close to have the conversation here.
Whatever. Let's see what we got here. Oh man, now it's getting a little tough now.
We're actually into things that are worth watching.
Well, not necessarily, but
what do you got that's not quite making the cut?
I don't know. I mean, I guess Alya can probably go here.
That bad, huh? This is a bad year for smut.
This is a bad year for smut. It was like, I don't know why it got so much hype. I think it was because of the siscon elements and just, the absolute harem that forms for our main character. But like, it's another one that's just boring, and it like spends half the season on this student council election that just is not that entertaining. And it's like, I don't know. I wanted more. I mean, there was a lot of smut. I guess I just wanted more smut and less politics. There was a little too much politics in it.
You would think that smut and politics, like smut, politics, and duel monsters, like that's a great day.
Yeah, you would think, but no, didn't work.
Yeah, I actually watched this for like 4 or 5 episodes, and then when they added in the sister who was his childhood love, I was like, oh, this is too much at this point. I do love the sister. I adore the siscon sister. She's amazing.
She's hilarious.
Yeah, she almost made it onto my top 3 nominees for Waifu of the Year just for her hilarity. I don't know how many times I rewatched the second episode scene where she like wakes up on top of him.
For multiple reasons.
Yeah, amazing. So that is Alya sometimes hides her feeling in Russian out at number 32. Let's see. I think I can get rid of... let's get rid of Hell's Paradise. I read Hell's Paradise, or I watched Hell's Paradise last year. This was number 9, I believe, last year. Amazing first season of anime, just extremely exciting. And the premise of all these, like, crazy criminals and their samurai assassin counterparts all on this island trying to find the elixir of eternal life. It just sort of falls apart. The thing that maybe pissed me off the most is the fighting system is like each character has like a designated internal element of 5 different elements like fire, water, wood, metal, earth. And like you can't kill the enemy unless you have the advantageous type. Like
Right.
Like automatically you do not have the ability to kill them unless you happen to be born with that, which I thought was like such a boring dynamic to a fight.
You kind of write yourself into a corner with that.
Yeah, so then like you have to like match up with the right guy to take down that guy. So it just sort of took out the excitement that I had. And yeah, I finished the manga. It's respectable, but it can go out here at number 31.
I feel like you always talk about how much you don't like solo leveling. What am I missing with that?
Solo leveling? I've never said I disliked it. I say I'm whelmed by it.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like right in the middle at 30 is where it should go then.
I think there are things that I think less of than that, though. Other things that have whelmed me. Is there anything that's like in that area for you? I think solo leveling can go like, I don't know, it's kind of a weak list, Rob. I think it can go maybe 10 more spots to be honest.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
Just to give you a sense check of where I'm at with it. At least 5, if not more. How's Akane this year?
Actually, it was really good this year. They had a flashback to the main 2 like old guys that are the rivals. And
you do love your old guys.
Very enjoyable. I do love my old men. I wouldn't see it going too much further, but
I'm not targeting.
Just by nature of being a manga about Rakugo, which I think is, once this thing finally gets an anime, I think I'm going to really enjoy the anime, but, very solid year for it. I've been enjoying it.
If you're not seeing that much, I can go again, but I'll give you a chance to look over this list.
I said solo leveling. I think 30 makes the most sense, but if you have something you're feeling more strongly about.
Okay. I can get rid of, it's not even like, how I feel about solo leveling is not like a defensive thing where you're like, I gotta get rid of Chainsaw Man. I'm just like, no, it's just not the right place for it.
Right.
Let's get rid of One Punch Man at 30. Honestly, a very good year for One Punch Man. There is a new hero organization that is poaching heroes from the main hero association, which is fun. And
right.
There's like a idol girl who's like one of their top heroes, and you're like, oh, she's kind of weak, but she's fucked up. Like she's got some secrets and she's scary. there's a sumo wrestler who makes Darkshine look small, like he's so big that he like literally just like palms monsters with his hand. And right now they're fighting God. I think they're fighting God in samurai form.
Oh, okay.
Or ninja form,
which is probably still not the end of the series.
No. Oh, and also, at one point, Ninja God does this gigantic dimensional slash that like leaves like a giant cut into the earth, and Saitama just like in his stupid form just grabs it, like, what the hell's going on here? And just like holds the giant sword, and then the Ninja God's like, wait, why can't I finish this attack? So it's still
Okay, but this sounds better than Solo Leveling.
no, it's like I guess it just doesn't have enough meat because like it comes out so infrequently. And
Yeah, that's what the problem is with One Punch Man always, is the infrequent releases.
yeah, and then Murata like takes like forever to draw one chapter, so maybe you'll get like a third of a chapter at a time before you get like an actual full chapter progression. But it was a good chapter by One Punch Man standards, which is always beautiful, but just too slow. So 30's I think a good spot for it.
Okay, I guess I could say, I would say probably Akane at this point, and I think unless it's a manga that's really killing it during the year, I think our ongoing manga are hard to rank, higher because it's so in a vacuum. Like with our anime, we're looking at it as a completed series, whereas we're looking at like 40, 45 chapters of a story that we don't know how it's going to end. And, it could be remembered much better once the story is complete. It could be remembered much worse once the story is complete. It all depends on how it ends up affecting, an overall story. So it's just part of story. I enjoy that part of the story, but I think 29 is good for Akane Banashi.
Oh god, I fucked up, Rob. I can get rid of. Well, I had two I was gonna propose to actually cut before Akane because like we were talking about Akane. I didn't think it was your most like your lowest cut right now. I thought you had a couple things worse than that. But I heard how you felt. I don't think I feel as strongly about 3 of these series. One of them can actually go about 10 or 15 spots. I totally forgot.
Oh dear.
And that is Berserk.
Oh, okay.
Berserk just not very good. No.
Justin, I think the funniest thing we can do is put Berserk behind Pokemon Concierge.
Berserk, a beautiful, amazing manga written by Miura, RIP. But what I read this year was not that version. I read the latest chapters written by his team, which is honestly like I appreciate them doing it, even if the execution hasn't been great. It's maybe only been about 5 or 6 chapters. How caught up are you with Berserk, and how much do you want me to say?
I haven't read any of the new chapters, so I prefer to leave it no spoilers. I'm caught up other than the new stuff from not Miura.
Okay, then let me just say this: no spoilers. I feel like we've taken steps back when like the Elfland was an amazing step forward after all these years of journey that we've been on together. I feel like in the 5 to 10 chapters that I read, we've taken several steps back from there. And
okay,
I appreciate them doing this. I appreciate, honestly, the first chapter out after his passing, the art was like, ooh, this is rough. And I appreciate like how hard they're working, because a couple chapters in, honestly, if you're reading it quickly, you can't really tell the difference between that and Miura, which is an amazing feat. This can go. I'll put it behind fan letter.
I feel like okay. I was gonna say I feel like it's funnier where it's right next to Pokemon Concierge.
Okay, I'll do it for the lulz, as the kids say.
I don't think kids have said that for at least 20 years.
For the lulz, Berserk is out at 41, Concierge out at 40. And the other 2 that I will cut, I'll get rid of Grandpa and Grandma Turn Young Again. That goes out at 28.
That's a self-explanatory anime.
They eat a golden apple. They live on an apple farm and they've stayed there their whole life, work very, very hard. Grandma has cancer for the last like 20 years and she's just kind of like old. And they eat this magical apple that Treeson is like, you saved me from when the lightning hit me, and they taped him back up and helped him grow again. And Treeson's like, I'm going to reward you with this golden apple. And they get really sexy and young again, but they still act like grandparents. They get to go on a honeymoon, which they never had to do because Grandma got sick 40 years ago. In a weird way, the grandchildren are kind of fiending after them also because they're so hot. It's a fun time. I didn't finish it, but it charmed me.
And that's all we're asking for, is to be charmed these days.
Actually, I'm going to put that above the other one I'm going to cut, which is Bartender, Glass of God. So Bartender out at 28, and then Grandpa and Grandma at 27. Bartender, Glass of God is about this hotel manager or this hotel owner, this rich old guy who wants to find like the perfect bartender for his new bar on like the penthouse suite type of bar, and it made me have an appreciation for like a nice cocktail. I'm not much of a drinker, but like I've been going out a little bit more recently, and like I've met a couple cool bartenders, and like the care they put into like a really good drink, I started to appreciate that. And I think part of that is because of this little anime. And
Okay.
what's the word? He's kind of like Megumi from Soma. Like he makes food or he makes a drink
To comfort you.
Like
For your needs.
like
Meets your needs.
He looks at you, looks at your face, looks at your situation, and like he doesn't even know you, but based on his assumptions, he's like, this is the perfect drink for you. And it like makes them feel like their clothes are gonna rip off, except it's not that type of anime, but it makes them feel that way. So that's Bartender Glass of God out at 20.
So we're at 26. I'll go Mashle season 2. I like Mashle. Mashle's fun. I kind of enjoy the shtick of just the fact that he just punches his way through everything, and each episode is like, how is he gonna punch his way through this? How's this still gonna be funny? And it's just like, it's still kind of making me chuckle, and it's really, really stupid, and I like that it doesn't take itself too seriously. Another fantastic OP, and I think honestly the OP carries it an extra 5 spots. It was good. It was fun. I enjoyed it. You know, it was one of those anime where new episode comes out, I'd be excited to watch it. You know, you have some things that you end up, they start building up, you know, you're like 2-3 episodes behind, you're not watching it week to week, but Mashle was something I was always looking forward to.
What is the silliest feat of strength that he did this year?
Was it this season where he does the Quidditch where he flies just by kicking his feet really fast?
I have seen that. I've seen a clip of that. I wasn't sure if that was from this year.
Which is it's so funny.
Yeah, that's great.
Because they just animate it with his feet just like constantly moving back and forth, even when he's having like a serious conversation, and it just looks so silly.
I like how I've only seen a little bit of Mashle, but isn't he like kick magic or like punch magic? Like he doesn't actually call it.
It's stupid in a good way. I enjoy it.
I don't think it's time for this to go yet, Rob, but I need to put it on a high alert.
Vibe check.
I think Gash Bell 2 is coming close.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, honestly, maybe it is worth having the conversation. The thing with Gash Bell 2 this year is that what should have been something that excited us the most, which is the return of the Riddle Professor Nazu Nazu Hakase, was honestly kind of a letdown. The whole arc didn't meet the needs and the expectations of what I get out of Nazu Nazu Hakase, who did have funny moments, and it was amazing to see Big Boing, but like overall, I feel like his return should have been handled better.
The pros here, I'd love to list out the pros because I do still love Gash Bell.
Of course.
Getting Brago back and him just like being husbando material and also just like obliterating people like it's nobody's business as Brago does. Always fun. The bringing back of Coral Q was actually hilarious. That was probably the highlight of the Nazu Nazu Hakase arc, where they're like, we brought back him, and then it's Coral Q, and you're like, and then the Kiyomaro face is fantastic.
Just the absolute worst character possible. Made it
He's
hilarious.
just like, why is it you? He's like, is it Umagan? Is it Bari? Is it anybody who I think is great? And then it's Coral Q, which is great. And Tommy Lee Jones also makes a cameo this year and does a dance number with Kiyomaro.
I'm not ready to get rid of Gash Bell, honestly.
I'm not, but I think it's very close, and I just wanted to highlight those good parts because
I will say though, 2025 start to Gash Bell, phenomenal. So
amazing. I hope it.
Yeah, we'll
comes
leave
back
you
to
with
the
that.
top. Yeah.
Let's just do solo leveling. What are we doing here?
I feel like you're out for it because I feel so whelmed by it all the time. You know what? Honestly, part of it might be because I started watching the second season and damn, it's a banger. Like I'm overwhelmed. I feel great about solo leveling 2025. Let me see. How much do you feel about Spice and Wolf?
Not much further, honestly. Spice and Wolf, I don't know. It's I don't even know how to describe it. It's a merchant and a wolf god that are traveling and trying to make money. And, you know, there's lots of crazy, you know, financial politics that come into play. They're trying to find out about her history. The romance of it is definitely the spiciest part. Ha, spice. spiciest part and most interesting part and the most engaging part. But overall, it's one of those things where it does at times feel a little slow. I watched all 24 episodes. I did enjoy it. I did like it, but it's not going to go much further than this. It definitely didn't grip me.
I liked it. Like, I watched maybe 6 or 7 episodes, and I liked it. It was just a little too much slice of life for me.
Yeah, it is a little too slow at times.
Yeah, like, you know how, like, a good anime will kind of put a hook at the end where you're sort of like, oh man, can't wait to watch the next episode. They're sort of like,
Yeah.
we sold some things and made some silver today. And that's how they'll end the episode. Like,
Yeah.
nothing really kept me going with it, even though I like the characters. That's kind of how I feel. Whereas, like, even though solo leveling, I felt perfectly whelmed. Like, it's still exciting. Like, it's sort of a very, very good version of what I was saying about Wistoria in terms of, like, you put people with a weapon and they're fighting demons or other people. It's still kind of...
How boring can it be? Yeah.
Yeah. And it's kind of like the perfect... It's like junk food anime at the highest level. And I think it can go a few more spots, frankly. Unless you're feeling really strongly about your next cut.
No, I think 25 is a good spot for Spice and Wolf.
Is it higher than Rama?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Oh, Rama's higher. You mean.
Rama's going pretty deep for me, honestly.
Okay. Oh, we never cut Akane.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we could put it at 24.
You like it better than Spice and Mashle?
It's good at 24.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what? No, Akane at 26.
Okay, so Spice at 24, Mashle at 25, and
Yes.
Akane at 26.
Yes.
Okay.
Whose cut is it now?
I will make the concession now of... I can put solo leveling here. You cut out the last 3. I'll put solo here.
Perfect. Then at 22, I will put Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You. Honestly, fantastic romance manga. It's about like a 40-year-old salaryman that goes to the market and is in love with the like 27-year-old cashier, and he doesn't realize that when she takes her break and goes into the back outside to smoke, that it's the same person. So he's just like talking to this girl outside and smoking with her, not realizing it's the cashier he's in love with. And it's very wholesome. It's very refreshing that you have kind of an older character that is not 14 years old, 15 years old. You have like a 40-year-old salaryman that's maybe finally finding love and finding something other than work to find joy in, and I really enjoyed what I've read of it this year.
Why is this going out now? Like, first of all, the title's amazing, and it sounds like a great time. Like, it seems very good. I don't know why it's going out here.
Yeah, you know what? I think there's a few... You know what? I think Sandland can go before this, honestly, for me. Sandland is Akira Toriyama's anime that, for some reason, has Deborah from, the Dragon Ball universe as the Demon King, but he doesn't really play any role. It's about his son, who's the prince, and they're just exploring a wasteland trying to find water and the source of the missing water and why all of this is happening, and it follows a ex-soldier as they go on this journey together, and it was really fun. I think it hit a lot of the beats of Akira Toriyama work that I like. Didn't love the digital art style or digital whatever they use to make it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's CGI. I don't know my terms. My
The
artist
CG, yeah.
friend that would be you better than me. But
Yeah, the CGI.
I definitely liked it. Me getting rid of it here these are all things I like at this point and really liked. But I think the thing that might hold it back is the art style for me.
I have a couple of contenders for cuts, but before I do that, can you tell me a little bit about the secret world of Arrietty? Because I don't know what that is. That's the only thing left.
It's a Studio Ghibli movie.
Oh, is it? Okay.
It is not Miyazaki. It's about these like little people, as in like really tiny. They're like the size of bugs that they live in somebody's house, and the main like little person is a girl, and she meets the boy that's living there, and it's a little bit of a love story, and she's trying to move. Her and her family have to move because they've been discovered. I don't know. It was really good, solid Studio Ghibli movie that if I didn't know it wasn't Miyazaki, I would think it was. Definitely better than Boy and the Heron.
It gives me very much Fern Gully vibes.
I don't know what that is.
You don't know Fern Gully?
No.
It's like a 1980s nature. It's like the original Avatar, like the Blue People Avatar, like nature propaganda. Okay, I think with that, I think I know everything on this list now, and I think we're actually. I'm surprised, Rob, actually, because we've been shitting on this year so much, and I think last year we were saying how amazing our top 20 was. I think our top 20 is actually decent.
It's
stuff.
not bad, right?
It's not bad. Yeah, it's better than I thought.
I think there was just a lot of garbage the first 40 stuff though.
Yeah, maybe our 20 to 30 was a lot stronger last year, but
yeah,
this could actually take a second now. Okay, a couple of things I'm thinking about. Gash Bell 2 actually better than some of these things on here. As much as I thought it was time, it has
I agree. I have a few as well.
A couple of things I want to talk about. Real. I only read 6 chapters, but those 6 chapters were just that good.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
I love Real. It was our second ranking 2 years ago. I think it can go out
when you first
soon.
started it, right?
Yeah, when I first started, I read like 100-something chapters. He released a chapter. So if that's the case, he's released 6 chapters over the last 2 years, which says something.
Right. Yeah.
Spy Family is something I'm looking at as well. Amazing Martha flashback, but besides that,
agreed.
What else happens? Anya gets second in classical language and gets a star. She has the dance with Damien. There's the ski murder mystery that had so much potential.
That was one chapter though.
Yeah, it had so much potential.
That could have been an arc.
And I don't know. I think really the Henderson backstory is really carrying it at this point.
Yeah.
But that's another one I'm looking at. And perhaps a curveball. But Dandadan can also go out around here as well. Those are the 3 I'm looking at.
Yeah, I don't see it going too much further. I'm willing to start with Arrietty at 21.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, like I said, it was very enjoyable, but not one that I'm ever going to be itching to go back to and, rewatch. I would say Urusei Yatsura Season 3. I really like Urusei Yatsura. If anything, the reason I didn't enjoy it more is because from what I've read, they skipped like a ton of stuff and just, they just wanted to end it earlier, or they just wanted to highlight some of the best chapters and all that. Because it's a long series. It's like, I think it's like 300 chapters, and it was only 3 seasons, so maybe altogether it was like 60 episodes. So, I was kind of bummed. I didn't even realize it was ending until the last few episodes, which plot-wise were building towards an ending. So I was kind of disappointed about that. So it ended up being something that I left disappointed in, even though I do love Lum. She's the ultimate waifu, the grandmother of all waifus, but I kind of left on a sour note, not even realizing that this was going to be my goodbye to Lum.
Is this what I have to do to make you get rid of your things? Offer up 3 of my darlings, and then you're like, you know what? Let me get rid of 2 of mine. Was not expecting that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, how about this?
Good compromise.
You get rid of... So that's Urusei Yatsura at 20. You get your number. I'll get rid of 2, and then you get 17 for whatever the hell you want.
Sounds good.
Unless you want Urusei Yatsura at 17.
No, this is good.
Let me get rid of... How do you feel about Dandadan, Spy Family, and I have Real? So.
I would say, honestly, I'd go
Spy Family above Dandadan.
Spy Family
first.
I'd probably go Spy Family, then Dandadan, yeah.
I guess I love Dandadan for the adaptation. Like, I love the music, I love the art style, I love the characters, but I stopped watching it halfway through the season for the exact same reasons I stopped the manga, and that is the characters are really annoying outside of the main characters and Grandma. I don't know if you agree or not.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I think it starts off so interesting and really felt refreshing, and I really liked the crab fight with Okarun and Momo, and then everything from there felt like me waiting for it to go back to that.
Yeah.
And as you add more and more characters to the story, it's never going to go back to that. So it's just like, I don't know. One of those things where, once again, it feels like it ends on a sour note and not really meeting the expectations I had.
Yeah, and I feel like the author's doing what he wants to do. Like, these are his choices, it feels like. I just don't like them.
Right.
And I just don't understand why he has to create such like beautifully drawn characters, but they're just so fucking annoying. Like pink hair girl, you get another pink hair girl losing to
Ida.
main girl, and you have did you get the
Right.
boy yet? The kind of sexy childhood friend,
Yeah. Gigi.
Gigi. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's a pain in the ass too, frankly.
Yeah.
But I think I love the opening and I love the animation and the voice acting's perfect.
Yeah.
So I'm conflicted on it, frankly.
I think Spy Family then Dandadan is fine, honestly.
Honestly, I think I might get rid of Real first. I think. Okay, so let's do
Okay,
this.
so why don't we go Real Spy Family Dandadan at 17, which is fine with me, and
Yeah.
then at 16, yeah, yeah. At 16, maybe. I'm not sure about mine now at 16. How long is your 4-minute Ghibli movie that you saw at the Ghibli Museum going to go?
It's around here.
Mr. Doe
Yeah.
and the Egg Princess.
Yeah, we can cut it here. It's about
Okay.
20 minutes. It's the animation's amazing. There's a witch who, again, no voice acting in this at all. There's a witch who has tits as big as her whole body, who's hilarious, and she likes eating, and she wants to eat Mr. Doe, and Mr. Doe's not having any of that. And Tamago Hime, she's protecting her boy, Mr. Doe, and then he becomes a buff boy. I spoiled the whole movie for you,
Beautiful.
but great time.
All right. So that's 16 is Mr. Doe and the Egg Princess. 15, how far can you bring Dragon Ball in the year 2024? 15 seems like the right spot for Dragon Ball Daima, which is something that I enjoyed immensely. It felt very Dragon Ball, this journey through the demon world where they're powered down and de-aged, and Goku feels a lot more like the kid Goku of the past, but ultimately it's still just Dragon Ball. And while I like the fact that it feels like this JRPG where they're going on a quest and a journey, it also feels at times kind of frustrating where I'm like, you guys can blow up the earth, but you're fighting generic mooks for 20 minutes that,
Sure.
and I get your power down, but like after 50 years of Dragon Ball content, it doesn't, my brain can't compute that.
It's hard to undo all of that, sure.
Right.
I think that you frankly feel stronger about Dragon Ball Daima than I feel about The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. But if you like the number 15, you can keep it.
No. I'm good with moving it up a little if you have something, you know.
Yeah, I think The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, it's like a beautiful full-length anime movie about a girl who gets Bill
I'm familiar
Murray
with
powers.
it. Yeah.
Groundhog's Day.
Yeah.
Charming, really great movie, and I can't say that all the time for anime movies, which tend to disappoint me. But this one's very charming. It's not one of those things that's going to stick with me forever, but I did like it. And I think the fact that I don't have that much more to say besides that I was charmed by it, I think you can go out at 15.
Okay, then you know what? I'm gonna go Daima, and then Smoking Behind the Supermarket with you.
Where is Gash Bell for you at this point?
Probably in the next few, honestly.
Okay.
If you don't have anything you feel more strongly about, I would say Gash Bell.
How do you feel between Smoking and Gash Bell, frankly?
I still, after talking about Gash Bell and realizing that
You got Tommy
this
Lee Jones.
year, which was hilarious, and Big Boy, like Big Boy can carry herself all the way up this list because the gag with her had me dying, honestly.
She got a strong back carrying those. So Daima out at 14, Smoking at 13. So I think now that we're going through 20 through 10, now I'm starting to see the weaknesses because these are all things that we like,
Once again,
but they're not special necessarily.
absolutely.
Whereas last year it's like, oh, this is like a bloodbath.
Yep.
Let's see. I guess I will get rid of Golden Kamuy here.
Okay.
Golden Kamuy, awesome manga about trying to find this giant treasure of gold that the map is written on the back of 20 prisoners' backs in charcoal ink, and they have to go around and several factions are fighting to skin these guys and get their backs to create the ultimate map. I read about 130 chapters before I sort of like fizzled out. It's not something you're supposed to read 300 chapters of in a month, which is what I was attempting to do. So I burned myself out. That's not the fault of the manga.
That's your fault.
That's my own fault. And another aspect of it that I really loved was it got me very interested in Ainu culture, which is the native Hokkaido people. And I actually got to go to the National Ainu Museum in Hokkaido during my trip last year. And what's really cool is like this anime and manga has done so much for promoting the culture that like there's a giant wall covering like 8 doors on the gift shop of just Golden Kamuy characters.
I mean, that is pretty neat, yeah.
Which is like pretty awesome. If I had read this like a normal person, it could maybe go higher, but because I burned myself out, like when I think of the series, I'm like, oh, great series. I don't feel great about it, but probably because of the way I overate on it. So that can go.
But unfortunately, 12. That is the experience.
But that is the experience. But no indictment on it. And 12 is a great place for it.
I think this is a perfect time for my historical anime to go as well, Elusive Samurai, where the word historic is being used very loosely, but it is technically based on historical figures and all that nonsense. It is the story of a young boy that is his entire family gets genocided and murdered because he's like, the heir of the empire, and his whole shtick is that he is incredibly elusive and can escape from anything, and it has fantastic animation. I think one of the biggest surprises of the year in terms of its high quality animation.
Yeah.
And it mixes absolute gore and horrible things happening with humor, and it's so disconnected and disjointed to the point where it actually ends up working.
It's amazing that this is out at number 11 because in any other year this is 25 maybe.
Right, absolutely.
I don't have strong feelings except for the fact that I love how well it's produced. I remember at one point, they're using 3D, there's ants crawling over, and it doesn't look 3D. It looks like they filmed real ants.
Yeah.
And then they have just the most gorgeous animation, and then they go to brush painting. The music's amazing, but the whole premise is kind of whatever.
Right. And
that's crazy that it's out at number 11, despite me saying all these things, because I do have good feelings about it, even though if season 2 never came out, I'd be like, yeah, whatever, that's fine.
Yeah, I'll probably watch it when it comes out, but for what we got, it was I enjoyed that. It was good.
I'm sorry I keep repeating this, but the way this list is going, I was like, oh, Gash Bell is gonna be number 30, but I honestly feel it's fine where it is, and it's still we're at the number 11 spot, and I'm glad Elusive Samurai is not getting into our top 10 because it's frankly not worthy.
That's the funny thing. Elusive Samurai is 100% 2022, 24 on our list in years past, but this year it's borderline top 10.
Yeah, and can I put Golden Kamuy ahead of it actually?
Be my guest.
Yeah, we shouldn't be so carefree about moving number 11, yeah, whatever, put it to 14, I don't give a shit. But that's how we're at. Okay, so that's Kamuy at the sacred number 11 spot, the disappointed, which feels right. Elusive Samurai at 12. Where are we at on number 10 is the question. Do you feel at this point we're kind of at things that we sort of love?
Yeah.
Sort of?
I guess.
What was... Oh, we're not there yet. Let's just keep chopping away. Okay, I'll take a look at my next 2, I think. And I think that is Hibike Euphonium and Skip and Loafer. So you watched Skip and Loafer last year. I think it was number 7. Absolutely beautiful series. I watched it.
It's wonderful, right?
Absolutely wonderful.
I'm shocked you enjoyed it so much.
I loved it. It was great. I love the dynamic between the beautiful girl and the nerdy girl who become best friends. The main 2 characters are lovely too. The thing is, I don't remember that much about what it happens, but there's a old quote by Maya Angelou. It's not what people say that you'll remember, but how it makes you feel. And that's how I feel about Skip and Loafer. It's just a warm, fuzzy feeling.
Just beautiful.
What, the Maya Angelou quote or Skip and Loafer?
Both. The parlay from Maya Angelou into Skip and Loafer is amazing.
Makes me look very classy. It's getting a little bit of a tax probably because you did it last year. But at the same time, if it came out at number 7, I wouldn't hate it either. And it kind of continues that rank. That's one. And the other one is Hibike Euphonium, which is a girls' band in high school, like jazz band, a whole class of band. And they kind of get their shit together. And start competing at like a national level, despite the fact that they're all over the place in the beginning because they get a new teacher. But no one gives a shit about the band. Okay, what we're here for is the Yuri. The Yuri undertones are like sparks are flying. It's in fact it's my background on my dual screen computer right now.
Wow, that's high praise.
They're climbing a mountain together, and then while everyone else is at the festival enjoying themselves, they're like in their nice dresses, like playing their euphonium and trumpet on the top of a mountainside. They're at one point, Reina, the girl who's the trumpet prodigy, she's gonna do a solo, and they like get really close to each other, and then like she's like, I'm gonna play this one for you, and I'm like,
Oh boy.
it's hot, it's spicy. It's the most Yuri baited thing ever because
Oh
Reina,
no.
despite saying all these things that I wouldn't even say to like my girlfriend type of vibe, like this is some shit that you're saying to like your lover of 20 years, and she's like, I'm actually in love with the teacher. I'm like,
What?
bruh, what? Like why? Like why?
That's
Even create this false?
That's what my problem is. The Yuri bait is just not okay.
Just the things they say to each other are just so intimate and so sweet, and it's like if you're not actually gonna follow through on it, then why pretend that they're just best friends? They're just really close, and it brings me to such highs, and it brings me to the valleys of hell. That if they followed through on that Yuri baiting and made it a real romance, it would be easily top 4, top 3.
But they didn't.
They didn't, and that's where I'm at. I had to stop after season 2. There's more. Season 3 actually came out this year.
Oh my god.
Continue, but I needed a break after my heart was broken. But it makes me feel things.
So
Look at all these feelings.
That's 10-9? 10-9?
No, I don't know.
Yeah. We gotta keep this moving. The top 10 gets ugly, so we gotta start rolling.
Okay, I'm gonna get rid of Skip and Loafer at 10.
Okay.
And I'll get rid of Hibike Euphonium because I'm angry at 9.
Okay, let's do Gash Bell then at 8.
Oh, you know what? Can we get rid of Gash Bell at 9?
Yeah, that's fine.
I feel
So then
stronger
we're
about
at-
Hibike Euphonium.
Yeah. So then we're at 7. Da, 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 da. Much like Elusive Samurai, Dungeon Meshi feels like it would be like 15 in another year,
Yeah,
whereas this year, I think 7 is probably where it's going to land,
it's quite high.
unless you have, which is very much quite high for a dungeon crawling series, which leans more to cooking than plot. Although when the plot does happen, it's kind of interesting, but
Yeah,
you know,
it does a lot. It does crazy things.
it does do a lot of different things, which is it keeps things fresh and it keeps things exciting. But you know, it's like we said, in another year, it's probably 15, but it's getting that bump up this year.
It's funny. It's charming. Senshi's almost a cannibal, but he's not a cannibal. It gets
Almost.
gruesome. It's all over the place. It does great things. It just never hits that threshold. Like the way I'm talking about Hibike Euphonium, it doesn't get that high ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy with that at 7. I would love to hear how strong you're feeling about Ranma. Is this like
I absolutely loved Ranma, and it was probably my anime of the year.
interesting?
And I was shocked by how much I loved Ranma. It's a simple Rumiko Takahashi anime, as simple as it always is, but for some reason, it hit much better than Urusei Yatsura for me. I think Ranma is a much more endearing protagonist. I think Akane is basically the debut of the tsundere archetype, and despite the fact that it's, a 40-year-old series, it still feels fresh the way the tsundere is Sunin, and the absurdities are fun and funny, and it was only 12 episodes, which was a disappointment. I thought it was going to be 24, but I thought the art style, I thought the colors they were using for everything just popped so well, and the biggest knock on it was the fact that the nudity was like kind of subdued substantially, which is, yeah. But other than that, probably my anime of the year, so I'm definitely not willing to have it go before Chainsaw Man.
Wow, I'm shocked that it's that high for you. I love Ranma. I consumed a little bit of Ranma myself, except with the Cantonese dub as I was studying that. I I remember watching Ranma when I was about 12 at my cousin's house, and boy, did those anime titties get me when I was 12. Love Ranma.
Yes.
It's my favorite Rumiko Takahashi series. Let's see. Let's get rid of Code Geass here. Pizza Hut the anime. First season, honestly, a
Justin,
work
wait.
of art.
Can we just leave it at Pizza Hut the anime? Because I think that encompasses everything we feel about it more than anything you could possibly say right now.
I've said a lot this year about Code Geass. Pizza Hut the anime can go out at number 6. Top 5, Rob.
Top 5.
We have left Chainsaw Man, Chihayafuru, Oshinoko, Ranma Half, and Sakamoto Days. I will get rid of Chainsaw Man for you.
Beautiful.
Just the best Chainsaw Man I've read in about 3 years. I had no idea where they were going the last year or two. This was all over the place, and then all of a sudden it's like all the pieces of the puzzle just sort of fit together, and I get where he was going. I will probably not read Chainsaw Man for another 2 years just to keep up the streak of reading 40 chapters at a time, because I had such a good time with it this year. Happy that it could go number 5, and I have a note here that says, I want this in the top 10 just to piss off Rob. And there it is.
Oh,
top
good.
5.
Yeah, you succeeded. Yeah, you got what you wanted. Justin, what? Give me a reminder of what Sakamoto Days was this year in the manga.
Sakamoto Days was the museum fight with the Order versus X's group. So you have like...
that was really good.
Yeah, that was amazing. You have like Shishiba fighting the metal controlling girl. You have Nagumo versus the video game guy. You have Sakamoto deciding that he's going to franchise his store because they're not doing so well. Him fighting Torres, the sandblaster guy, and the most recent arc where they go to prison to go rescue the fortune teller girl.
Yes. A lot of great stuff.
Yeah, strong year.
So that's Sakamoto. We already talked about Ranma. So we have Chihayafuru and Oshinoko that we haven't spoken about yet. So we both watched Oshinoko. So talk about Chihayafuru for us, and then we can work out this top 4.
Chihayafuru. I've been waiting for 4 years for season 4 to come out. I will Google it every few months to be like, season 4? And then it's the same Twitter post posted in 2021 that says, I heard there's like a little thing that says Chihayafuru on this poster they made once. And it always brings me back there. I had to take matters into my own hands and just read it. It is their final year. There's all sorts of romantic drama happening. The final matches of Karuta, which is the card game they play, were not as good as the previous year, but still very good. The endings made me feel whole and warm inside, and I'm happy to let it go at number 4. I think this is in my top 8 of all time anime and manga, if not higher.
Beautiful.
So it has cemented itself, and I think number 4 is a good spot for it.
I think that might wrap things up for us then. I think we could do Ranma at 3, Sakamoto at 2, Oshinoko Season 2 at 1.
There we go.
Right?
So you're good with Ranma at 3? Because I'm happy to give it to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, top 3 is good.
Okay. So we said everything about Ranma. We said everything about Sakamoto. Why don't you sound us off on Oshi?
I think, as somebody that has read Oshinoko now and finished the series, this
You finished it?
Yes. This is as good as Oshinoko gets, and that's saying a lot. This is absolute peak of the series. It hits all the beats of Oshinoko, of our main girls going against each other, actually seeing into the world of acting, working on the mystery of, Ai's death and all of that, Aqua's quest for revenge, twists and turns in all of that happening. I don't know if it was the end of the season where they find, where Aqua finds, or Ruby finds, the doctor.
The body, yeah.
But, there's just so much happening in this 12-episode season, and even as somebody that had read it previously, it still keeps you on the edge of your seat.
I think with the exception of like one episode after the stage play where I was like, oh god, they're falling off, they ran out of budget. But they were secretly just like lowering your expectations for like just the hype post that, where they go on the vacation and find the body and all the mysteries are revealing themselves, and there's something weird and spiritual happening that you know about that I don't know about. I was never more invested in a series than Oshi this year, and it was easily my number 1 series for 2024.
Yeah, no argument.
Now, Robert, before we do our final reading off of the list, we have one final battle to take place. It is the battle for the throne of the Heavenly King, where we have Season 1 of Free Run Beyond Journey's End versus Oshinoko Season 2. Who will win this face-off? I think it's quite obvious.
It's Free Run.
It's Free Run, yeah.
I mean, last year was such a fantastic year for anime. There was no way that Oshinoko, which was phenomenal this year, was ever going to be anything from last year. It's Free Run.
I think Oshinoko, like, honestly, if it wasn't Free Run, it honestly stood a chance. Like, I think it could take up the best of Sakamoto Days, take up the best of Apothecary Diaries, but Free Run's just a beast in of itself. And I will say that Free Run is the first Heavenly King to maintain its throne.
That's right, yeah. What was it? Yatsuba in year 1, and then Gash Bell in year 2, which defeated Yatsuba. Yep. Then Free Run defeated Gash Bell last year, and now Free Run stays the king.
Free Reign reigns as the Heavenly King of 2024. Now, Robert, I know you have a child. I know you have a family. I know you have to run. Would you like to read off this list of 65 with me, or would you like to run off into the wind?
I'm going to do it, and I'm going to fly through it. Are we starting from the back or the front?
You're committed. From the back.
Okay.
Number 65, ZX Ignition.
No, Justin, shut your face. I'm going to do all of it. Rapid fire. You ready?
Go for it.
65, ZX Ignition. 64, Sakuna of Rice and Rain. 63, My Dear Friend Nokutan. 62, Yuru Camp Season 3. 61, Mission Yozakura Family. 60, Plus Size L. 59, Hima-Ten. 58, Tetsujin 28 Gao. 57, Super Psychic Policeman Chojo. 56, Rory Dragon. 55, Monsters 103, Mercy's Dragon Damnation. 54, Record of Ragnarok. I don't want to do this anymore.
53, See You Tomorrow at the Food Court. 52, Octo Girl. 51, Trigun Badlands Rebel. 50, Jellyfish Can't Swim at Night. 49, Eyeshield 21 Brain X Brave. 48, One Piece. 47, Boy and the Heron. 46, Shangri-La Frontier. 45, Chiko, Heiress of the Phantom Thief. 44, Green Greens. 43, Kaiju No. 8. 42, One Piece Fan Letter. 41, Berserk. Robert.
40, Pokemon Concierge. 39, Hajime no Ippo. 38, Suicide Squad Isekai. 37, Wisteria Wand and Sword. 36, Kill Blue. 35, Polar Bear Cafe. 34, Blue Box. 33, Hokkaido Gals Are Super Adorable. 32, Gyaru and Dinosaur. 31, Alya sometimes hides her feelings in Russian. 30, Hell's Paradise, Jigo something. 29, One Punch Man. 28, Bartender, Glass of God. 27, Grandpa and Grandma Turn Young Again. 26, Akane Banashi. Justin.
25, Mashle Season 2. 24, Spice and Wolf. 23, Solo Leveling. 22, Sandland. 21, Secret World of Ariete. 20, Orisayatsu Season 3. 19, Real. 18, Spy X Family. 17, Dandadan. Number 16, Mr. Doe and the Egg Princess. 15, The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. 14, Dragon Ball Daima. 13, Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You. 12, Elusive Samurai. 11, Golden Kamuy. I think we should do the flip-flop for our final 10, Robert. Why don't you take us away with number 10?
Number 10, Skip and Loafer.
Number 9, Gash Bell 2.
Number 8, Hibike, Euphonium.
Number 7, Dungeon Meshi.
Number 6, Code Geass.
Number 5, Chainsaw Man.
Number 4, Chihayafuru.
Number 3, Ranma Half.
Number 2, Sakamoto Days.
And our number 1, Oshinoko Season 2. Robert, thank you. Thank you for spending the last 2 hours with me. To our dear listeners, we can't promise that this podcast will be around forever, but we will continue to do our anime of the year as long as we are alive.
As long as we live.
To do our anime of the year.
So ideally, at least another 50 years or so.
Yeah, I mean that's a high expectation for me. I'm not doing so great. We're gonna try to bring the podcast back a little bit, but I hope you enjoyed 2024 as little as we did, and thanks so much. We're looking forward to another great year.